The smell of lavender once filled me with warmth. It reminded me of Sarah, her hair, her skin, the faint fragrance she always carried, like a familiar embrace that followed her everywhere. It used to be the scent of home, of peace, of love woven into the everyday. Now whenever it drifts past me, my chest tightens, my stomach twists, and it feels like poison. What once soothed me has become the cruelest reminder of what I lost and how ruthlessly she destroyed it. I was never someone who sought out drama, but when your life shatters into something resembling a tragedy, a little dramatic flair suddenly feels justified. Sarah and I had been married for 7 years. 7 years of mornings spent with coffee between us, of laughter bouncing through our modest little house, of whispered conversations late at night when the world outside was silent. We weren't flawless. We bickered about bills, about chores, about small things that didn't really matter. But after every storm, we found our way back to each other. I believed in what we had. I believed in her. I believed in us. Until the ground shifted beneath me. At first, it was subtle. Sarah became restless, distant. She started coming home late, blaming long meetings, her excuses too polished, too carefully delivered. My instincts screamed at me, though I had no proof, just a heavy dread that something was terribly wrong. The first undeniable crack appeared one night when I glimpsed a message on her phone. On the surface, it seemed harmless, just a "see you later" from a name I didn't recognize. But the tone behind those words carried an intimacy that cut like glass. I confronted her, shaking as I held up her phone. She dismissed it with practiced indignation, calling me paranoid, saying I was imagining things. But her eyes, those I knew too well, told a different story. The guilt, the micro-expressions, the twitch of her lips, tiny betrayals of the truth she tried to hide. From then on I watched closely. I noticed how she lingered in front of the mirror, how her makeup became meticulous, how she suddenly wore a perfume I had never bought for her. The way her hand jolted toward her phone the instant it buzzed. I began to fade from my own life, an observer cataloging my wife's transformation into someone I no longer recognized. The nights were the hardest. I lay next to her, feeling the silence grow heavier with each passing day, studying the outline of her face in the dark and wondering if she ever even saw me anymore, or if her thoughts belonged only to him. The truth didn't come all at once. It bled into my life piece by piece, each fragment tightening the noose. Her late meetings were with a man named Marcus, a muscle-bound trainer from the gym, all arrogance and smugness in the photos I found. The text I had first seen was nothing compared to the messages I uncovered later. Explicit, raw, humiliating evidence of her betrayal. The anger inside me wasn't loud. It wasn't a storm. It was icy, steady, deliberate. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I began preparing. Quietly. Carefully. I opened a new bank account. I moved money discreetly, ensured the house and assets remained under my control. I sat with a lawyer, learning every angle, every loophole. While she smiled across the dinner table, while she pretended we were still us, I was already dismantling everything behind the curtain. Our anniversary became my stage. Sarah wore a red dress that clung to her like a statement. Not for me but for Marcus. I booked dinner at the place where we'd had our first date. The nostalgia was intentional, a trap she walked into without hesitation. Across the table, she looked uneasy, her confidence cracking for the first time. "I have something for you," I told her, sliding an envelope across the table. Her hands trembled with anticipation as she opened it, expecting romance, jewelry, maybe a trip. Instead, she found divorce papers, filed that very morning. Her face went ghostly pale. "Baby, what is this?" she whispered. "It's over, Sarah," I replied, my voice sharp as broken glass. "I know about Marcus. I know everything." She tried to stammer out excuses, the same lies she had rehearsed for weeks, but I cut her down with evidence. Every message, every photo, every timeline. Then I told her how I had secured everything, how she was walking away with nothing but the wreckage she had chosen. Her bravado crumbled into fear. The arrogant woman who once thought she could deceive me so easily now sat frozen in the ruins of her own game. The drive back was silent. I didn't spare her a word. At home, I packed my things without hesitation, moving into a small apartment close enough for her to feel my presence, but distant enough to remind her she had lost me. I sold the house. I kept the money. And I walked away. Months passed. My life grew whole again. I threw myself into the gym, into old hobbies, into friends I had neglected. Bit by bit, I rebuilt. Sarah, however, crumbled. Marcus moved on quickly. She drifted from place to place, her once shiny facade stripped away. Eventually, she reached out, through mutual friends, through desperate pleas. She begged to see me. I agreed, not for reconciliation, but for closure. When she walked into that coffee shop, she was a shell of herself. Haggard. Broken. Her voice cracked as she dropped to her knees, sobbing, begging me to take her back, to forgive what she had done. I watched her. Calm. Detached. And then I gave her the only answer she would ever get. It's too late, Sarah. Some choices can't be undone. You made yours. Now you live with it. I left her there, crying on the floor, while I walked out into the world free of her. Now sometimes lavender finds me again. The scent drifts by, and for a fleeting second, I remember what it used to mean. But it doesn't sting anymore. It doesn't wound. It's simply a reminder. A reminder that betrayal cannot always be forgiven, and that the truest form of revenge is not anger, not vengeance, but walking away stronger while leaving them with absolutely nothing.